Something is watching you. The horror of Blackwood Manor. What if I told you there exists a house that no one dares to enter? A place that has swallowed those who stepped inside, never to be seen again. A house that breathes, that watches, that waits. And the most terrifying part? It has been empty for decades, or so we've been led to believe. The locals don't speak its name. Not out of superstition, but out of fear. Those who live nearby keep their windows shut tight after dusk, refusing to look in its direction. They claim to hear whispers from the empty halls, soft voices calling their names, as if something inside knows them, and is waiting. One night, a group of investigators set out to prove that the legends were just that, stories. They were equipped with cameras, motion sensors, and enough courage to last until sunrise. They expected creaking floorboards, maybe a few flickering lights. What they found was something else entirely. They never spoke of what they saw. Not to the press. Not to their families. But behind the scenes, something darker was lurking, something far more terrifying, or so it seemed. Blackwood Manor has stood for over a century, untouched by time, but filled with whispers of the past. The structure itself remains, but something within its walls has never left. The stories speak of shadows moving in locked rooms, of footsteps pacing through the halls when no one is inside. Some claim to see candlelight flickering through the windows at night, a dim glow that vanishes the moment you step closer. For years, locals have warned outsiders to stay away. But not everyone listens. Those who dared to step inside never return the same. Some left with eyes hollowed by fear, unable to speak of what they encountered. Others were never seen again. Their names became nothing more than echoes, lost to the silence of Blackwood Manor. In 2018, a group of investigators entered, determined to uncover the truth. They carried cameras, audio recorders, and the confidence that nothing could harm them. But the deeper they ventured, the more the house responded. The air grew heavy, the walls seemed to pulse, and then they heard it. A voice. A whisper so clear, so close, that it could not have been imagined. What they captured on camera will leave you breathless. Welcome back to Victor Nightshade, where we uncover the most chilling true horror stories. If you enjoy unsettling encounters and unexplained mysteries, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now settle in, turn down the lights, and prepare yourself, because these stories may change the way you see the open road forever. In 2018, a team of paranormal investigators stepped through the threshold of Blackwood Manor. Their cameras were rolling, their flashlights cut through the darkness, and for a moment, everything seemed still. The air was stale, thick with the scent of rotting wood and something else, something they couldn't place. They set up their equipment, motion sensors, electromagnetic field detectors, thermal cameras. But within minutes, the temperature dropped. The warmth from their breath became visible, curling in the icy air. Their radios crackled with static. Their flashlights flickered. The sound came from deep inside the manor. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. As if someone was answering them. The team exchanged uneasy glances, but they pushed forward. They followed the sound down a narrow corridor, their footsteps creaking against the warped wooden floor. A distant whisper is caught on the microphone. "Help me." Then, the first investigator gasped. His breath hitched, his flashlight shaking in his grip. "Did you see that?" he whispered. The others turned just in time to catch a shadow slipping around a corner, a shadow with no form, no body. Just movement. But when they reached the spot where it had been, there was nothing. Just an old mirror hanging on the wall, its surface covered in dust, except for one spot. A perfect handprint. Not from one of them. Then came the voices. Layered over one another, some whispering, others screaming, some calling their names. But the most chilling of all was the laughter. Low, drawn out, echoing from the walls themselves. One investigator collapsed. His body went rigid, eyes wide with terror. When they pulled him up, he couldn't speak, couldn't move. His lips trembled, but no words came out. It was as if something had taken hold of him. A jump cut to footage from later that night. The team is fleeing the house, their breaths ragged, their faces pale. One of them is missing. They ran, their cameras abandoned, their gear forgotten. But one of them never made it out. To this day, no trace of him has ever been found. His last recording, his final words, were distorted, barely audible. But if you listen closely, you can hear it. A heavily distorted voice plays. It sees you. A voice, a whisper so clear, it sent shivers down their spines. It said, "Leave. Now." But they didn't listen. What happened next was the last footage ever recorded from inside the house. Their camera captured something inhuman. Did you see it? Look closely. What do you think that was? Comment below if you caught it before I revealed it. Then a voice whispering, "Help me," in the background. And if you think that's terrifying, just wait until you see what happened next. Stay till the end, because this final revelation will haunt your dreams. They ran for their lives, but one of them never made it out. To this day, no trace of him has ever been found. A final distorted image of the investigator's terrified face, then abrupt static. Was this the work of a vengeful spirit? Or something far worse, lurking in the shadows of Blackwood Manor? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you love terrifying mysteries, subscribe now, because the next story is even darker. See you if you make it through the night.